Mother Funny Time with Andie and Angie.
2 cousins, 8 kids, 1 grandkid, 2 states.
And a whole lot of fun. Woo! Welcome back, Mother Funny Tribe. It's Angie and Andy. And we're here to have realistic and fun stories and information about pets and children. Yay!
Hi, you guys. I just want to say if you missed our last podcast, that's okay. Just kidding. Make sure you check it out because it's filled with information and also sadness and excitement and love and all the things in one podcast. That was our last podcast. So it's probably going to continue because today we're talking about pets. And I like to bring the exciting, loving, beautiful part of having a pet to the conversation, and Andy brings us right down into reality. That's how the last conversation went. I have a feeling that's how this conversation is going to go. There are no guarantees. We also want to say shout out to our tribe that's on YouTube. Hey, you guys, thanks for checking us out.
Hey.
And for those of you who want to see us on YouTube, you got to put at Mother Funny or at Mother Funny Podcast. I almost said at Mother Funny Tribe, which we should put that in there too. Because you guys are a tribe. And for all those moms who are thinking, I cannot handle a pet right now, my life is too stressful. In my opinion, you can. You can handle a pet because it becomes a family member. We aren't going to talk about how your pet is a family member. That was on the last podcast. I think we've all established it's a family member. The good and the bad.
But which one?
It's your child's best friend, and there's so many beautiful memories your child can make with their family pet. However, Andy is here today with the reality. So, Andy,
and I would like to say, if you're too stressed to have a pet, take a beat. Take a beat. You can do it. There is just chaos will ensue, but also good things.
And I just also want to add, you might be thinking a goldfish is the way to go, but fish are really hard to take care of. Worst. And it's so hard because your kids get so attached to them, and then all of a sudden it's
they die
so fast. We went through a bunch of fish last summer. Like, we were determined to make fish happen. It did not happen. I mean, it was pretty traumatizing at certain points. That being said, our axolotl is still alive and going strong. So shout out to Billy Irish.
Billy Irish. The axolotl.
Like, Ryan, he was supposed to go out with this group of guys today from the Bible study, and he actually was like, I can't make it because he had to go to axolotl world in Dallas because it needed worms. We're out of worms, and they had to buy extra sand. I mean, he could not go out because it was we have to take care of this axolotl today because it's Peyton's axolotl. And let's face it, axolotl world is not open 24/7. So he headed out to Axolotl World.
See, this is what I like about the McCarters. They don't just buy pets. They make sure that they have as much chaos as possible. They buy a pet that you have to specifically go to Axolotl World in Dallas to purchase the care needed. They have a bunny that does not look like a bunny. That's it's a dog cat bunny. He's the cutest bunny I've ever seen, but he's not like a normal bunny. He's a bunny that requires more. And then they have 2 cats, a dog, and they almost had a bobcat. Thankfully, animal control handled that. So Angie does that with 5 kids. So when she hears somebody say, I don't know if I can handle a pet, she's like, of course you can handle a pet. I'm over here. And my husband is in my ear like, we don't need pets. And yet we have them. We always have them. I love having pets. It does make travel difficult. That's what I'll say.
And expensive. If you have to board your animal, it makes it expensive. Oh, did I finish telling the story about Chance and what the vet said?
No,
I don't think. Say? Okay, you guys, in the last podcast, I talked about my dog Chance.
Sorry, I probably cut you off.
He was Chance. He was a beagle. He was small. He had big, long ears. And he had anxiety. He was diagnosed with anxiety, and he took
in the early 2000s.
Yes, I mean, long before anxiety was a topic that people even shared about and talked about. I was giving my dog anti-anxiety medication. But the vet did tell us at the time, your dog cannot ever be boarded. Because if you board your dog, it might lose the will to survive and die.
I feel that about George.
He was like,
There's George.
no matter what
There's
happens.
George, everyone. He cannot be boarded.
He also might lose the will to survive.
Yes.
This is in the early 2000s when people didn't
my
talk like
gosh.
that.
You're all, if we're going to get a dog, we're going to get the dog with the most needs possible. I'm going to get the dog that needs anxiety meds that can never be boarded. And then I'm also going to get a rescue that we need to bring back from the brink of death.
Yeah.
So Angie thinks if you're contemplating an animal, you should get an animal. 100%.
It just takes a little love and care. And as Andy will add, some cash. Because, or
It's
good
expensive.
parents. My mom sometimes, when I worked, because again, we couldn't leave Chance really alone for too long, I would take Chance to my parents' house, and my mom would call and be like, doggy daycare is over. No, my mom would call and say, doggy daycare is closed. Come get your dog. So she called it doggy daycare or grandma daycare. It was hilarious.
Aww.
One time it was pouring down rain. I could tell you stories forever about Chance. It was pouring down rain in California. And I know for all of us in Texas, we've lived through some major storms recently. Even today, crazy flash flood storm totally happened. California doesn't happen like that. Not trying to, just being a realist, as Andy is a realist. California does not have the storms Texas has.
Our weather's nice. We have nice Southern California, great weather.
So Chance wasn't used to rain, and it was a crazy, crazy rainstorm. And literally I had to leave work because Chance would not go inside my parents' house. He was so panicked and so anxious. He stayed out in the middle of the yard in the pouring rain, howling because he's a beagle. So I had to leave work to go get the dog so I could put him inside. Like that, survival that most dogs, in animals, pets, they have
like seeking
survival.
shelter. Yeah. He's like, I've lost the will to live again. He keeps losing that will.
We really had to monitor him. He was great dog. I would not recommend, if you're looking for a low maintenance animal, I would not recommend you get an animal with anxiety though.
Okay, this is what I'm going to say. And this is going to be helpful. It's going to be a realist, but it's helpful. I do not enjoy, and I don't think they're great pets, are hamsters, fish, probably gerbils. I don't even know if you get gerbils. Any of that, like the rodent family. I've heard rats are fantastic, but let me tell you about hamsters.
Darcy had a rat, and it was so cute.
That's what I've heard.
It was super cute.
How long did it live?
I don't know. It was Darcy's. Had a cage. It was cute.
But they live a couple years, 2 to 3 years. They usually die tragically, and you have to clean their cages all the time. So I would say don't worry about the hamsters. Don't get the fish because, like we've mentioned before, fish die and they're a lot of work. And I really struggle to see any living thing die. I don't kill bugs for the most part unless I have to. I let them go outside where they'll probably die anyway, but I cannot kill things. And when I see a fish dying, I will go and try to buy medicine to make it live, but it won't live. They're not meant to live. They're meant to die. So don't do the fish. I would strongly advise against a hamster. If you want an not easy, but the lowest maintenance animal, in my opinion, is a well-behaved cat.
Yeah, I could see that.
You can leave them overnight. You can put them in kennels. Cats don't usually throw fits when you leave. They just want to be fed, and they might cuddle. Yeah. I think a cat is a great pet if you want something a little low maintenance.
Ryan was fake allergic to cats. Did you know that?
No.
He was fake
Tell me
allergic.
more. Fake allergic?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Well, because when we met, I still lived at home, and we had cats, and I always had a cat, and I knew he wasn't allergic. But then he would say, I'm allergic. And I'd say, no, you're fake allergic. And he'd be like, I'm allergic. No, you're fake allergic. So he would tell the kids when we got married, had kids, he'd be like, no, I'm allergic. And so we'd all say, no, you're fake allergic. And I knew it would take the kids to finally get Ryan to be okay with getting a cat. And sure enough, I forget, I think it was Brooklyn. Brooklyn saved up all her money, and she was like, I saved up my money to rescue a cat. And she and I went to the animal shelter, and Ryan knew. And I was like, Ryan, we all know you're fake allergic. And guess what? He is fake allergic. He's not allergic to cats. We currently have 2 indoor cats. He's not allergic to it. It was his thing. It was like, I'm fake allergic to cats. Or he said, I'm allergic. We're like, no, you're fake allergic to cats. But a lot of people are allergic to cats, so we understand.
Yeah.
We understand if you're allergic.
If you're
really
allergic to cats,
not fake
heard
allergic.
this real allergic, not fake. I've heard this from a young man who does not want to deal with a lot of animal stuff, but he's like, if I ever got a cat, I would get an animal, I get a hairless cat.
Okay, I think they're so cute. It creeps
Do
a lot of people out. I think they're so cute.
He's like, they're cool. I'm like, you wouldn't have any fur to pick up, because that's the thing. Owning animals, you have to keep lint brushes with you everywhere, or lint sticky things, because between now we have 3 cats. 1 cat's ours, 2 cats are not ours, but they live with us. And then George, we're always battling fur.
And when we're talking about how having a pet can teach your children responsibility, this is just one of the ways, because it could be your child's job to, like, on the sofa, like their job is every day to, like, get the hair off the couch, because nobody wants to sit on a couch covered in fur, or like, okay, you
especially
guys.
non-animal people. Non-animal people do not appreciate it.
It's also a good motivator, though, to have your kids, like, vacuum and sweep, because it's like, hey, you guys want these animals. Like, this is part of the deal. Like, you kind of make the deal before you get the pet. Like, okay, this is part of it. This is part of, like, the responsibility. You feed it, give it water, change the litter box if you're dealing with a cat. You know, there's all the things. Take it for a walk if it's a dog. And then it's that, what are the household chores that now kids need to do because you have a pet? So it's just one extra piece of motivation for those children to clean.
Well, this is what I'll say, is that my floors are always clean, because I can't, not always clean, but in the sense that we have to be on top of daily vacuuming, sweeping. You know, we have the little robot vacuum. Like, we had to get hardwood floor, or like non-carpet, and we just have a couple really good vacuums in order to always get the fur. Because if we don't, then fur piles up. And nobody wants dander. Nobody wants fur. You get the little tumbleweeds of fur. I had a black lab, and every day I would sweep. It was before Roombas and all that. I would sweep, and it was like a little animal's worth of fur every day. Like, it looked like I had a bunny, but it was just Angel's fur. So.
Oh, I remember Angel.
Angel. Oh. She was a naughty dog. But she was my shadow. She followed me everywhere.
So back in college, you guys, I went by the name Angel. And there was a time when Andie was, like, going out of town, and I was going to babysit Angel. And I went with my friend from college, remember, to, like, meet up with you guys to learn about how to, like, take care of Angel. And my friend was like, your friends? Or she goes, this is my friend from college. She goes, your cousins named their dog after you? Like, no, but that would make sense, because in that room I was Angel and her dog was Angel.
We're like, yes, our next animal's gonna be Angie.
Great.
Well, that animal we didn't name because we got Angel when she was 6 years old, so she already had her name. But she was not an angel. She was naughty. She was a naughty black lab. And labs are usually good dogs, not Angel. We honestly don't know how to make animals behave. George over here, or wherever over here, is like one of the most well-behaved animals we've had, and he still pees and poops when he's upset in our house.
This is not helping people want to get a pet. In your opinion.
There's so much pee and poop.
Okay, so talk about how that helps with children and having responsibility. Let's tie this in.
Okay, I'll share 2 stories. One, Ezra, my grandson, loves to use, we have like this little Amazon fur thing for the couch. It's fantastic. It's this little roller thing, and he loves to do it. So it's teaching him. He's 2.5. 2, you know how we got in at 1 a.m. the other night? Ezra came over at 9:30 in the morning. Daisy's like, hey, can you watch him? And I'm like, sure. So we had just got home, like, still, like, unpacking and stuff. And all of a sudden, Ezra's like, hey, Grandma, I gotta go potty. So I, like, go to follow him to go potty. And all of a sudden, I look, and there's dog poop smears all across my house. Because what had happened was, while we were gone, George has trouble when we leave, and he pooped near his toys, and Ezra had stepped in it and ran around my house unknowing.
Oh no.
So my floors got a very deep fabuloso clean. Did Ezra do it? No. Did my children do it? No. Who did it? I did it. Chris cleaned the shoes. Chris hosed off his shoes. I fabulosoed the floors and carpet.
That's not helping our point at all. Like, not at all.
We also bought a bed, and we had the boxes. We had all the pieces to this bed. We bought some Murphy beds. We had a lot of these big pieces, and we were going to put them in the garage, but George also likes to sneak into the garage and pee on things. So we had to carry the Murphy bed up to the room so that he wouldn't pee on it. We did. My kids didn't. It was us. So,
No,
but
no, not helping.
What do you...
I will say there was a time when I was picking up the dog poop outside, you know, because our dogs, we're pro them pooping outside.
Yeah.
And Tegan was like,
it's the best way to go.
She was 2 years old, and she comes running to me as I'm picking up the dog poop with the pooper scooper, which we should tell everyone about that story.
Yeah.
I'm picking up the dog poop with the pooper scooper, and Tegan runs over. I got some, Mommy. I got some. And it was in her hand. Over.
So children are helpful.
And then she like dropped it in the pooper scooper. And I had to be calm and like, thanks for helping, as I like grab her hand and was like, keep it up. And we walk into the house, and she was so helpful, like in her little toddler mind, like she was helping, and she was so excited. Inside, I was freaking out, like, it's so gross. But I was like, oh, thanks. She even put it where
it was super helpful. It helped her.
So
and you just had to wash
helpful.
your hands. When Ezra stepped in the dog poop the other day, for like the rest of the day, he kept going, dog poop Grandma's house. Dog poop Grandma's house. And I'm like, yeah, baby, George, he did again. So we know, like, we do everything we can. We know when we're going to go out of town. We'll even, like, during the day, have a door open. We'll have people check on him just to minimize him having a tantrum.
Okay, this is good to
but
talk
he'll do
about
it.
because it is summertime, it is June, and people are planning vacations. And that is part of having a pet. You're not only trying to organize and pack and get everything situated and clean your house before you go on vacation, you're also trying to take care of your pet. Or is your pet coming with you on the vacation, or who's taking care of the pet? Kind of like we were talking about before, like it could cost a lot of money if you're going to board your pet, or if you're going to have a house sitter, like that is the extra cost of like, okay, I know I'm going to go on vacation, but it's also going to cost me this amount of money, or this amount of dollars, or whatever it is, in order for me to go, because I have to have someone take care of this pet. So that is a good point to have these conversations, to talk about what happens, how the pets deal with us leaving when we're trying to go. We love traveling with our dogs personally. Like, if any vacation I can have Tracker come with us, I do.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal in the car. He literally gets in the car and he just lays down and falls asleep. Even if we're like traveling for 12 hours. I mean, he does a fantastic job. Part of why I like him coming with us is so I don't have to pay a house sitter to come in and like take care of him.
It's so much easier. It is difficult. But what are you going to do now because you have a bunny?
I don't know. I mean, thankfully on the street.
And an axolotl.
Well, thankfully on the street we live, there are a few teenagers. So they come and take care of the animals, which has been super helpful. And this is also how having a pet teaches your children responsibility, because then they can also house sit for other people. And now they're getting paid, right? To like take care of other people's animals and to care for them. And it really helps that, hey, I have a dog. I'm used to dogs. And now I can help take care of someone else's dog when they're on vacation, and your kids get some extra cash during vacation time, which is nice, or when their friends or neighbors are on vacation. It is nice having my parents live in Texas, because they will watch Tracker for us. So that really helps with having to pay, because like you're saying, you have family members take care of the pet, or other people are coming in and checking on that animal. So it's a lot. We understand having a pet is a lot. We totally get that. However, having a pet can increase your happiness, because seriously, animals get so excited when you come
Yes.
home from that vacation, or even from that day, or even if you're grocery shopping, you come back, an animal's so excited. And it's that pure loving joy and excitement. And sometimes, like, especially for kids, if they've had a really hard day at school or with friends, or they're struggling, or things maybe are a little bit more difficult than they had anticipated, like, just for them to know that no matter what, like, this animal loves me or is excited, it can really actually help change your child's attitude. It can help change their emotional state. Or, sometimes we just need something to snap us out of it. Well, an animal can do that. And that is such a blessing to those of us who have pets.
Yeah, I am 100% in agreement with animals being therapeutic for the most part. I have seen animals really help with grief. I've seen like people struggling with grief or depression, and then they get animals that they're not buying as therapy animals, but that they just, get, and it just helps put focus on something else and caring for something else, and something, like you said, that loves you back. And it's just like, I don't know, it's a sweet bond. And I know, like, with our family, like PJ, we have an obese cat now. He's old. He's lost some weight. We're really thankful. He's got like a little pooch. What do you call it? A fupa? He's got a fupa. I don't know. It's like a saggy belly because he lost weight, but he was obese. He was like got up to 27 pounds. But we've had him since he was a baby. Like, he was a stray. I bottle fed him. Like, that's how little he was. He's 14 years old now. And I remember Daisy making a comment when Ezra was born, like, I just really like want my kids. Like, it's going to be weird to me that one day PJ is not going to be a part of my kid's story, because he's been like, my kids grew up with him. Like Shiloh, we got PJ when Shiloh was like 3, I think. So he's like grown up with them, and he's still like a part of the family. He's still something that Daisy wants her kids to be a part of. And now Ezra gets to have PJ be a part of his story, and he's 14. So we'll see. He's got asthma. He's got dandruff.
He has asthma?
Yeah, he has asthma.
I didn't know cats could have asthma.
Oh, they do. Yeah, but we don't.
You hook him up to a nebulizer?
Like,
here's some albuterol, PJ. Let me help you out.
They seriously do that. And I've watched things where like people have done that, like given up to their cats. I think PJ would be more traumatized by albuterol than just getting through his coughing fit. He just has his coughing fits. He's another legend. He's a big old cat, but he's loved and he's part of our family. So there's just that, I don't know, that family bond that you can have. Though I will say, as parents, like, as the ones who are in charge of everything, it's a lot of work. Animals are a lot of work. Cleaning up. They get sick, vet bills, flea meds, all of it. Anxiety meds.
Heartworm medication. If you're in Texas, you got to pay the heartworm medication.
So we have 3 cats. So we have 3 cat boxes in our garage. And I had to buy I bought a cool thing on Amazon. It's like a cabinet to put them in, so hide them in. 'Cause I really don't like cat boxes. So we have to, like, Chris and I are both, Chris is like, we can have cats as long as we never smell the cat box. So we have them like tucked away in the garage. So it's a lot. You know what? The cats bring in bring in animals that sometimes are dead, sometimes are not. They're hunters. It's a lot of work.
Are your cats outdoor cats too?
Yeah, they're
The
indoor,
other two?
outdoor. Yes. So all of them can go outside. PJ is too old and fat to jump out of our backyard. So he just goes around the backyard and he's happy. The other two are young and they were out like rescued because they were just outdoor abandoned cats. So they're hunters, man, and they have Apple AirTags on them, and we bring them in at night. So their owner, Faithlyn, brings them in at night. We all like kind of help like pitch in because we do have a coyote problem in our area. So as soon as it starts to get dark, we just make sure the cats are inside and they come in. So they get to go out during the day and they come in at night with their little Apple AirTags.
Yeah, that's a helpful tip or trick that we recently have done also is get the Apple AirTags. It just makes things so much easier. You don't have to worry as much. Even though all of our animals are chipped, just to have an Apple AirTag, I mean, why we didn't do this years ago, I don't know. But it is so helpful. So, and it's not even that expensive, but to have that like relief to know, God forbid something happens or they run out, like it's okay. You'll be able to find them.
Well, and that's so like there's times where the cats have gotten out at night, and as long as you're like in the area with the cell phone, it'll start beeping. So they've been found more than once just walking around until they're in sight. The funniest time was one time one of the cats got out without his AirTag on because she takes him off at night, puts it on in the morning. Well, he had gotten out early in the morning, and I was like, oh, we better find him just so we can put his collar on because I don't think I was going to be home much. And we see a cat. Chris, like, I found him. So we like go, like we're walking down the street about 4 houses down. And I'm like, hey, Tawny, come here, buddy. And like walking, and this cat's looking at us. And we get closer. I'm like, babe, are you sure that's her cat? And he's like, yeah, I think so. Looks just like it. And finally, like after we got close enough, the cat like scampered more to the side, and it had a fupa. It had a little saggy belly, which these cats do not. And long story short, we almost kidnapped the wrong cat.
Oh no, that's not good.
So, but we didn't. And he came back and he got his AirTag. But yes, those are brilliant, especially if you have coyotes and you have cats that get out, or even dogs, like little dogs, because they get out. Dogs can get out all the time. So it's helpful. Is there anything else more positive you wanted to say?
I appreciate you trying. I see that you're trying to be positive and end on a high note, and that is a good thing. We have talked about all the highs and the lows. One thing we could also mention is having a pet, specifically a dog, helps with your health. Because like you have to take the dog for walks, or even like talking about mental health, like taking care of another living thing can really help. But then also, obviously, activity is really good for people struggling or having mental health issues. So to even have a dog, like maybe you're too sad and you don't want to get out of bed, to have that, like, no, my dog has to go for a walk, like how much that really, really helps, because you are being physically active or doing something physical, not only for yourself, but for the dog. And the dog needs or requires that. And so that really helps. It's part of having a healthy lifestyle and being balanced, which we're always trying to have.
100%.
Somewhat of balance in our life. Yes, I will agree that animals can be stressful. They can be that one more thing to take care of, but that's when your kids come in and they have the opportunity, like you're even saying how Ezra can chip in and he's only 2.5. I mean, they really can from young ages be part of raising the animal. And although it is super sad, as Andie has liked to mention over and over, when they do cross that rainbow bridge, you still have the memories. True story. Ryan moved out from his mom's house years and years and years ago, and I remember his mom had said, like, oh, we converted your room into a gym. And by that, they have like a treadmill. And there's a treadmill in his room. And we went in. She's like, come see the room. Oh, because Ryan had always put stickers. He loves, like, you know, those decal stickers. Remember, like, especially with like snowboards when that was in, like back in the early 2000s, everything had like snowboard stickers. He had stickers all over the room. I mean, and his mom was like, that took me forever to get all those stickers off.
I can imagine.
She really wanted us to see, like, do you see this wall without stickers? Like, it took me a long time, and I'm sure it did, because he had stickers like all over that wall, you know, and those were like the decal ones. And I was like, oh, what's this? And there were these 4 like canisters with a poem in the middle. And I walked over, and those were their 4 dead dogs that they cremated in little jars with a poem in the middle with their paw prints. And we had not been warned about that. We were walking in to see Ryan's room that had turned into a gym, and by that it
was now like a memorial.
Like, your bedroom
the dead dog memorial
became a dog graveyard. And it makes me so happy to think about it. Like, look at what your room has turned into. I mean, and those dogs had died years ago, but they are still up. Like, here's the cabinet. Like, they are high on the cabinet years later. Like, we are still
I don't want ashes.
Looking at the ashes. And if people do that, that's fine. Like, that's amazing. Yeah. That's good. Maybe warn people before they walk in your room. I'm coming to see a gym.
And you're seeing a dog graveyard.
And I'm seeing a dog graveyard.
I'm too tenderhearted for that. Oh my gosh. People can do it. I know they can do it.
It's a lot. And we know we've shared the highs and the lows, Mother Funny Tribe. And we're so thankful that you hung with us this whole time. We would love to hear your stories and what you have gone through. Because it is funny. Like, whenever you think of a certain pet, there's always at least one, but usually multiple funny stories about that specific pet and just the memories that you have or your kids have. Because like you're saying, Andie, like that PJ is part of Daisy's childhood, which is so beautiful. And now PJ is part of your grandson. So it is good. For those of you who are looking for us on YouTube, make sure it's at Mother Funny Podcast or at Mother Funny. And make sure you like us and share us. And if you know someone who's considering getting a pet, make sure they listen.
Or having them cremated. We have better ideas for you.
Or that. If
the Rainbow Bridge.
If you're grieving a pet, we are so sorry for your loss.
We hurt for you. We hurt for you.
It's true. We do hurt for you. And if you are a brand new dog owner, a brand new pet owner, we're excited for you too, because there's so many highs and lows with having a pet. So we appreciate you, moms, because at the end of the day, it really is the mom.
And honestly, like, usually the animal shadows the mom. Like, George obviously is here. I did not bring him in here. He comes here. Like, he follows me everywhere I go. There's times I'm going to the bathroom and he's literally like peeking out between my legs and I didn't even know he's there. And I'm like, this is not appropriate. I need to be able to go to the bathroom by myself.
So that was Cooper. Cooper would follow me everywhere. I mean, I would go upstairs. Laundry day. Like, Cooper would follow me all over the house. I'm like, Cooper, I'm literally just going to like go from the washer to the dryer and then like put the clothes upstairs. And Cooper would follow me everywhere. Tracker? No, Tracker is Brooklyn's dog. Like, he is latched onto Brooklyn. Yeah. If Brooklyn is there, Tracker is with Brooklyn 100% of the time. Like, That's don't exist.
Amazing.
And it's Tracker, and he's probably the laziest golden lab mix ever. He doesn't even get up with the kids. Like, when they go to school, usually like the animal gets up and is excited and like, you know, helps that, like, just around. Like, animals like to be around kids, which Tracker is excited to be around them when they get home from school. But he will literally stay, because he sleeps in Brooklyn's room. She has a bed and then she has a trundle, and the dog sleeps on the trundle bed. Like, we didn't know. Sometimes he sleeps on the bed with her. But he will stay in bed as she gets up and gets ready and leaves. But regardless, if it's not early in the morning, Tracker is following her all over the place.
That's wow.
But like,
I love it.
There's ducks right now, and the ducks end up in our pool, and we're like, Tracker, we let Tracker out to like go get the ducks, right? Like, you're a lab, part lab, like, go be a hunting dog. And he literally will just sit at the back door like, why did you put me outside? Why am I not inside with
like,
you?
I'd like to be in. It's cooler in there. It's warm out here. Thank you.
So, moms, we know there's a lot with animals, but we're so thankful that you guys are with us.
If Angie can do it, you can do it.
Excellent. Yes. And
share us.
If you see a bunny that does not have floppy ears, It could be a bunny.
You need to post. Okay, send me a picture of your bunny. I'm going to put it. I know I have not been posting. We haven't been posting much on our socials because it's been Maycember. We've had a lot going on. So, but we got to put a picture. We got to put a picture of your bunny on.
Yes. He doesn't look like a bunny at all. It's the cutest thing ever.
Like I was at Angie's house and we took the bunny outside in the front yard, which you don't typically do with a bunny. You don't just like take it to the front yard. And I was like, if I was a neighbor and I was walking by, I would have no idea what kind of animal that was.
Bo looks like a fluffy cat because it has pointed ears, but then he hops. But it kind of looks like a caterpillar.
But you can't. He has these beautiful blue eyes, but you can't see him because they're covered in fur. It's so cute. It's so cute. All right. We got to go.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. All right. That's all we have time for today. We got to wrap it up, unfortunately. But just remember, you might think you're doing just okay, but we think you're doing really great.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We hope you have a great Mother Funny day. Please like and share our podcast.
But please don't tell our moms.